Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a video that I'm super excited to share with you. First things first, I apologize for the streaks up here. I know, they get on my nerves too, but listen. I filmed this video last night when it was darker, so I didn't have the streaks. Well, struggling to get that to upload to the computer. I don't know what's happening. I updated my computer and went from like Windows 10 to Windows 11 after I've been declining that upgrade forever. And now I'm struggling to even do anything on the computer. So that's great for me. Love that. So we're going to try again. So we're just going to deal with the streaks and we're going to have a good time regardless. But so in this video, we're going to talk about thriller books that you need to read. These are books that I have read this year and I have loved them. These are things that I still think about today, even though I read some of these a little while ago. I never used to read thrillers at all, ever. I would only read fantasy or romance, some contemporary fiction, like Frederick Bachman. That was it. This year, I discovered that I love thrillers, and so I've probably read 15 thrillers this year, and I've got, I think, 9 that I'm going to share with you. The first one on this list is The Wives by Taryn Fisher. I had a great time with this story. I first saw this on Beth Morvant's channel, and knew I had to pick it up. Knew I had to pick it up. So we are following this woman named Thursday, and Thursday shares her husband with 2 other women. They each get a day of the week where he will spend that day with them and that night with them, and then he'll go and spend time with the others. And Thursday, her day is Thursday, and she refers to his other 2 wives as Monday and Tuesday, and those are the days that he's with those wives. Thursday starts feeling a little bit jealous and insecure and is trying to be the better wife. And so she gets really curious about his other wives and tries to figure out what she can about them. And as the story progresses, she starts learning more about them and starts finding them online and stuff, and finding their homes and all kinds of stuff. And it's such a great story because you don't entirely know what's happening, because the pieces that she's getting don't match up with what she knows to be true in her own life. So it's such a great story. I love the twist. I love a good thriller that has a good twist. Anything that has a good twist is fantastic. It has to make sense though. If you throw me a twist from out in left field that didn't have any breadcrumbs, doesn't make any sense for the story, I'm not going to like it. This is my whole gripe about Rivendell, because I think it's Riverdale, because I felt like those twists were just out of nowhere, and I hate that. So I quit watching those. But all of the books in this list, the twists make sense. This next one is Girl in 6E. This one I just recently read, I think last month. I had the best time. I teared up at this book. That's how much I connected with it, and that's how much I felt through this story. I was tearing up, and I had goosebumps at one point in this story. So in this one, we were following Deanna, and Deanna is a cam girl, meaning she performs for people online. And she discovers that one of her patrons is potentially a fan of the playground, let's say. And she thinks that he's actually going to attack a little girl. And one thing about Deanna is that she is obsessed with murder. She wants to kill someone so bad and is terrified that she's going to, because she wants to, but she doesn't want to because she knows she shouldn't. And she knows that it's not a good thing. And she's even gone as far as locking herself inside her apartment at night so that she doesn't get the itch to go kill someone and leave her apartment. She is locked in from the outside. There is no escaping. And so when she figures out that he might be attacking a little girl, she's like, might be a good opportunity to utilize my skills. And so I had the best time. I really like Deanna. I love her story. There's not a whole lot of twisty twists in this one, but everything is so good. It is so well written. It's very much a character story. So if you don't like slower character stories, and if you're not okay with explicit content, this is not for you. But if those things are an appeal to you, or if you don't mind those things, then definitely check this one out. Speaking of slow reads, this next one is Brother, and this one is my favorite book of the year. I love this book. This was exactly what I wanted in a story. In Brother, we're following this boy. I mean, he's a young adult. His name is Michael, and he lives with his family, the Moros. They are mom and dad, and he's got a brother and a sister. Well, they are cannibals, and Michael is not super thrilled about the life that he's living, and he kind of wants out, and he's not really sure how to go about that. He ends up meeting this girl, and after that, it kind of seems possible to leave his family. And his family is terrifying. Like, there is so much abuse in this story, so much abuse, and so much fear. Like, it is terrible. And we follow Michael as he's trying to figure out who he is and what he wants and how do we get there. And an ending, oh my gosh, the ending of this story was the best thing ever. It was probably my favorite ending. It was everything that I needed it to be and more. Like, it was fantastic. And I will shout this book from the rooftops probably for the next couple of years because it was so much fun. I absolutely loved this. This next book is the one that started it all. This is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. In this one, we're following this girl, I think Pippa. I think Pippa is her name. And she decides that she is going to investigate this murder that happened because she doesn't feel like the cops got the right person. She feels like there are some clues that were left unturned or some pieces that they didn't really dig deep enough into. And so she's going to investigate. There was a girl in her town that was murdered a couple of years prior, and they pinned it on the boyfriend. And he ended up dead, and they assumed he did it to himself. And Pippa doesn't feel like that's accurate. She feels like there's more to the story. So she pairs up with the boyfriend's brother, Ravi, and they go and they start investigating and start digging in deeper and figuring out who was where and what happened and who could possibly be involved. And I had a great time with this. I only read this because my niece was gifted this book and she was like 12, 13 at the time. And we looked at the parent guide and it said like drugs and sex and all those things were referenced. And I was like, you probably can't read that. Well, then I got to thinking that sometimes things are very like passive in something, like they just mention it. And so it goes on the parent's guide. So I decided I'll just read it and see what I think. And I don't think it was too bad. I mean, it's a little bit on the upper end of like, should she? But it was fine. I had a great time with this story, and she had a great time with this story. She absolutely loved it. And I had the greatest time with this story. There was a part where we got like towards the end, and I was like binging this. I was not listening to anything else. I was just listening to this because it was such a good time. So even if you don't particularly like young adult, it might work for you. It just depends. And then the next one that super like launched me into the thrillers is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. This one also got me on to like an Alice Feeney kick, and I just had to read everything by her. I think I've read 4 of her novels now in the span of like 6 months. Like, I love her. So I started reading this one for book club for work because this was the book that they picked. And I never really read thrillers. And so I was just like, whatever, I don't want to read it. Boy, was I wrong. This one was fantastic. I love the twist in this. I love how everything kind of unraveled in this story. Alice Feeney does a great job with her characters and unraveling the story in a way that keeps you guessing. Like, you're not going to guess this story early on. Like, you're just not. But so in this one, we are following this guy named Grady, and it starts off with him on the phone with his wife, and she's coming home. She's a little bit late, but she's coming home, and he's on the phone with her. Well, she gets out of the car because there's a woman laying in the road. So she gets out to help the woman, and Grady's like, don't get out of the car. What are you doing? Don't get out of the car. She gets out of the car, and they never see her again. Like, they found her jacket in the woods and it's kind of tattered and stuff, but they never saw her body. So we have no idea what happened. We don't know if she dipped out on him. We don't know if she died, if she was abducted. We don't know. And the cops kind of like aren't doing anything anymore because it's been so long and they can't figure anything out. Like all the clues have run dry. And so he's still grieving a year later. His career is kind of tanking because he's a writer and he can't really write. He's got really bad writer's block. So his agent, I think she was an agent, she might have been an editor, but she recommended that he go to this island. And when he goes to this island, it's super weird over there. He's the only dude on the entire island. There's only like 20 something people on the entire island. And they are like weird. Like when he interacts with them, like they don't interact like you and I would interact with them. Like they're just something's happening on this island. And he is also seeing his wife everywhere. Like he'll like glimpse her and then she'll be gone. And then he'll glimpse her somewhere else and she'll be gone. And this keeps happening to him. And so he doesn't know what's happening and he keeps trying to figure it out. Sorry, my light. There we go, that's better. And so he's just trying to like figure it out. And it is so good. So good. It's also told a little bit of a dual timeline because we're also getting like pieces from before and then we're also getting like the present day and it's so good. It's fantastic. I love it. This next one is an Alice Feeney book too. This one is His and Hers. We're following Anna and Jack. Anna is a news reporter. She's on the TV until her replacement kind of comes back from maternity leave, and then Anna kind of gets booted back out to field work, which she hates. She'd rather be in the studio. Well, we're also following Jack, and Jack is a police officer, and they used to be married. So we have this dynamic of them being divorced, and they're trying to figure out what happened with this murder that happened in town. Like they're both trying to figure it out. Well, she's trying to like release a story, and he's trying to figure it out so that he can catch a criminal, right? Well, the person that died was someone that they knew, and it gets really complicated because Rachel is the one who died. And Anna knew her in school and Jack knew her in school, but Jack also like knows her. And so they have connections to this dead person. And you're trying to figure out like, did you do it? You guys could have done it. You guys had motive. You guys had no alibis for the time period when she was gone. And they're also trying to investigate all these other people that are also connected. And you, as the reader, have no idea who it is. You have no idea what's happening. And it is so good. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed this, especially because you don't know if your narrator is being completely honest or if they're like seeing everything accurately. You don't know who's pulling the strings. And it's just so much fun. Speaking of an unreliable narrator, this next one is Sometimes I Lie, also by Alice Feeney. This one, we are following this girl named Amber. She is in a coma, and she tells you up front that she's in a coma. Her name is Amber, and she sometimes lies. So we're getting her present day where she's in the coma. We're getting that perspective. But we're also getting the perspective of like a week or so before, maybe a couple weeks before she ends up in the coma. And we're also getting these diary entries from childhood. And so you're kind of using all of these perspectives to sort of piece together who Amber is, who are all these people in her life and how they connect, and how did she end up in this coma? Because she thinks that her husband did it. And so we are figuring out who did it, what could have happened, why did they do it, and the twist about halfway through just had me mind blown. Absolutely mind blown. It was one of the best twists that I've seen, and I just loved it. Like I get goosebumps just thinking about it. It is so good, and I highly recommend this story. The last one on this list for Alice Feeney is Rock Paper Scissors. Now, this one I didn't like as much as I liked the others, but don't let that fool you, okay? This one is really good as well. We are following husband and wife, and they decide to go on a weekend getaway because of the fact that their marriage is struggling. And so they decide that this weekend away is going to be their last attempt at salvaging their marriage. And when they go during the wintertime and it's snowy and they get snowed in. And all these weird things keep happening and they have no running water and they have no power and they're trying to like figure all these things out. And you don't know the secrets. And they will admit, like up front in their perspectives, that there are secrets. And you're trying to figure out like what they're hiding from each other, why they're hiding it from each other, all of the things. Like, it is so good. And it's got really good twists throughout the story. You will stay guessing the entire time. And then the last book on this list is The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. This book was absolutely fantastic. I loved this. When I hit the midway twist in this book, binged it, could not put it down. I wanted to read nothing else other than this story because of how good it is. We are following Amber, and Amber is, I'm going to go ahead and warn you, she is not someone that you're likely to root for. I didn't root for her because she is attempting to befriend this woman named Daphne and essentially take over Daphne's life. Daphne is a high society lady. She is very rich. She's married to a very rich and very good looking man named Jackson. And Amber wants him. And so she's going to do whatever it takes to get him. So she becomes friends with Daphne, and she starts infiltrating into Daphne's life and starts infiltrating into Jackson's life in order to try and take him from his wife. Now, I know that definitely doesn't sound like a character that you want to root for, but let me tell you, you need to read this book anyways because it is so good. It is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best books that I've ever read. Like, so good. I love this so much. There's a book 2, and I didn't know there was a book 2, and I'm going to read it in the new year and cannot wait. And I even heard it's going to be a live action on Netflix and cannot wait. I don't know how well they're going to do the story, but I cannot wait and I am so excited to watch it. This is a great book. And if you haven't read it, you are truly, truly missing out because it is fantastic. So, yeah, that is all the thrillers at this point that I feel like you need to read. These are books that I loved, and they're books that, for the most part, I think most people are going to love them. They come highly rated. I mean, BookTube talks about them all the time, and, yours truly loved them, so you might love them too. But so, let me know, what thrillers do you have that you feel like other people need to read? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.